Welcome to the Spring 2013 Elections Candidates Meeting. If you haven't done so already, there are people with like little signs that say the positions that you're running for. You need to get your candidate statement. You need to check it over to make sure that it's 150 words or less. There are word counts on the bottom if you want to trust me, but I don't know. Also make sure that everything is spelled correctly, like your name. You can't make any major changes to your candidate statement, but if something is like super grammatically incorrect or if something's spelled incorrectly, you can make like minor adjustments. Okay. So before we get started, are there any questions? Okay, good. So again, welcome. Congratulations on making it this far. This meeting is mandatory, so thanks for being here. We have some inspirational quotes on this first slide, and I just really want you to read the second one because it's the most important thing that you'll ever read as a candidate at Penn. Read the FPC. Seriously, I said it. Okay, this is my name, Frank Calalori. That's my contact information. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at the elections email address. If there's an elections emergency, you can text me. If you're literally having like an elections catastrophe, you can call me. But I don't expect that, and I really don't want to hear you. So, there's that. This is tonight's agenda. We're going to go through everything more in depth as the meeting goes on, but you can just take a look. This is really your opportunity to ask me questions and make sure that you understand the elections process as a whole. Save your questions until the end, but I do tend to be fairly quiet even though I have a microphone, so if you can't hear me or you can't understand me because I'm talking quickly or mumbling, please raise your hand and ask me to repeat it. It's really important that you understand everything that we go over today. So this is the elections calendar. It is March 11th. After today, after this meeting today, I'm going to release your email addresses, names, and the positions that you're running for to the UA steering groups. After that point, the endorsements period is going to begin. We'll go through what that means more in depth later on. Wednesday, March 13th is the beginning of monetary campaigning. Again, I'll explain that. Sunday, March 17th is the first debate, the DP debate, and our Meet the Endorsers event. March 18th, voting begins at 12 a.m. Make sure you know that. Make sure you let the other voters know that so that people can actually vote for you. March 22nd, voting ends. You have to hand in your spending forms, and you need to hand in any FPC violation charges that you want to during the hours of 5 to 7 in the NEC office. And if there is no violation, I will announce the results of the election at the end of that night. Time to be announced, probably around 9, but one never knows. And you need to take down all of your posters before we announce who won the election. That's something new that we're doing this year. It's obnoxious, I know, but you need to do it. Sunday, March 24th, if someone does violate the FPC and there's a charge pressed against them, there will be a hearing. It starts at 1. It's open to the public. Our deliberations are private, but you're all encouraged to come and see what's going on. So the endorsement period. What is an endorsement? Basically, it's a public display of support from an on-campus group. So that can be anything from like college Republicans to Penn parliamentary debate team, all of that. And why is it important? It's a great opportunity to add substance to your campaigns because if you can say, my values align with this group or this group supports me because of this policy, then voters get a better idea of who you are. At the same time, endorsers have limited powers. They cannot spend money on your behalf. That's extremely important. Something else to note that I didn't mention, everything that I say at this meeting does become elections law. I have 4 hours to retract it after the meeting ends. But everything I'm saying now, you have to abide by. So yeah, endorsers cannot spend any money on you, but again, it is useful because you'll have access to their listservs and databases and all that. NEC members can't endorse, so if we're parts of groups that are endorsing you, just know that it goes without our specific endorsements. So yes, we're going to have a meet and greet with endorsers on Sunday, March 17th at 2 p.m. That's when the debate starts. The actual event will start at 3 o'clock, but you're encouraged to come to the debate to see what the president and vice presidential candidates have to say about the future of student government at Penn. It's going to be in Philo Library, so super swanky. And again, it's a great opportunity to meet with campus groups one-on-one, get to know them, get your name out there, and publicize your campaigns. And they'll be desserts, so that's exciting. The monetary campaign period. This is really important. This is a very easy rule to break, and you don't want to do that. On Wednesday, March 13th at 7 a.m., that's when you can begin monetary campaigning. So that means that nothing of monetary value can be displayed prior to that. So if you've purchased something already, that's okay, as long as it doesn't go up like a poster or a website. Make sure that anything that you've paid for is not being used prior to that time period. And that means that you have tonight and tomorrow before you can really do anything, so it's a great opportunity to reach out to endorsers to sort of get your name out there. So yes, again, materials of monetary value may be materials you have purchased or materials you already possess. Make sure you're not displaying them before that time period. And the NEC does go out at like 6:30 in the morning to make sure you haven't done it, so don't try to trick us. Publicity. Okay, so there are several ways to make sure that people know what you're running for and why you're running. One is the DP spread. That's why you have your candidate statements. Obviously, check those over. Those will also be on the DP Online Candidate Center. Endorsements, which we just talked about, posters, flyers, Facebook, and yourself. Time and time again, we tell candidates that the best way to get your name out there is meeting constituents one-on-one. That's what voters tell us to get them to the polls. So please make sure that you're doing that as well. Postering. So postering is obviously really popular, something that everybody likes to do, but it's also something that people often break the rules with. So this is just a few highlights. The FPC has all of the postering rules and all the rules for the election. You need to read it. But just make sure that you know these specifically, only in freely accessible areas, no windows or balconies in residential rooms, no tampering with other candidates' posters, which I feel like is kind of obvious. FPC highlights, these are the specific words. These are the specific words that we use in the FPC. Again, please read it. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. If any of this is specifically confusing after the meeting, let me know and we'll go over it. The university also has its own poster policy, and you need to realize that as candidates, you're also trying to make it so that the university doesn't get angry at student government when we're doing these things. Campus is beautiful, and we don't want to ruin it by doing the wrong things. So make sure that you follow these rules. Obviously, the NEC is not going to disqualify you for all of these because they aren't necessarily our rules, but it does make it a lot more challenging to convince the university that we should be allowed to do this if we're ruining all the trees by taping posters to them. Posters are never allowed on any trees in the quad, on silver nameplates or stainless steel pillars on the 38th Street Bridge, on lampposts, trash cans, or benches, in college house bathrooms. No spray chalk, no chalk on medical areas. So basically that means if you're going to chalk somewhere where rain can't wash it away, please don't. The university doesn't want you to do it. Other people don't want you to do it. I don't want you to do it. Don't. Campaigning suggestions. Include dates and location on all of your posters and things. So again, 12 a.m. on March 18th until 5 p.m. on March 22nd. That's when voting is. You can go to pennstudgov.com to do that. And be substantive in your campaigning. Make concrete promises that you can actually follow through on. You have individuals who are graduating from student government as great resources who can tell you what realistic things are and are not. Attend our Meet the Endorsers event, that's again March 17th, and then meet your peers. Just get out there, get your name out there, and meet the people that are going to be voting for you. So we're going to play the postering game. It's an abridged version from the fall, for those of you who saw it. Some of you were like contending for your titles right now. Okay, so we have a poster in a bathroom stall, on a garbage can, on a tree in the quad, and taped to a tree. All completely unacceptable. Completely unacceptable. There we go. Ruined the drama. Okay. Don't violate these. The university does not want us to do this. You won't be disqualified necessarily, but it's important that you keep these things in mind. Here we have two people who put their posters on the tree with string, and then one poster each on a kiosk. That's perfect. They did it right. Again, no tape on trees, one poster per non-moving object. For example, kiosks, trees, all that. Here, someone put their poster on the ground, they fixed it to the ground, they put it in an inaccessible area, they put more than one on a kiosk, they put more than one on a tree, they suspended it between two distinct objects, and they put more than one on each side of the bridge being the side of the forest. Entirely unacceptable. Like, I just genuinely can't even fathom it. You will be disqualified if that didn't make it clear. Please don't do these things. They're so simple. It's all in the FPC, and if you have questions, ask. This is our email policy. You can't use any official class listservs, school listservs. It should not look like the university is endorsing your campaign. When it comes to using like actual course listserv, if you ask the professor, and other candidates are also allowed to do it, it's really accessible. Be my guest. Make sure you're asking the professor before you do that, though. And then the same goes for Facebook. We're applying the same rules here. Any official Facebook group you can't use to contact constituents. So the way you know if it's official or not is if the administrators are actual pen administrators on the Facebook group. So check that out. If you're confused, you can ask. But again, I'm going to do exactly what you would do, which is look at the Facebook group, see if there's administrators who are the actual admins of the group, and that's how we'll decide. So you're going to have a lot of questions, and that's great. But I'm going to know if you haven't read the FPC, and it's going to make me pretty angry. So here's an example of a good question. Dear Frank, you and Anderson Cooper look so handsome in that picture on your Facebook. Also, I would like to affix 2 posters to the street lamp, but I'm afraid that I will be breaking section 7C3 of the FPC. They cite the FPC. Could you explain this rule and let me know if what I'm considering is a violation? And a bad question. Is it against the rules to affix 2 posters to a kiosk? I didn't read the FPC, so I don't know the answer myself. The distinction is that person 1 read the FPC, and then I can help them interpret a rule that's confusing to them. Person 2 didn't read the FPC, and so in all likelihood, my response is going to be, please look at the FPC, and then get back to me if you're still confused. At this point, it's spring, second semester, for everyone's been here at least 1 semester. You guys know the rules. Please check them out, and don't waste your time and mine with kind of frivolous things like that. Spending forms. You may spend an absolute maximum of $50. Even if you're running for 2 positions, even if you're campaigning with someone else, you each get $50. You will not be reimbursed, and you have to hand in your spending forms on March 22nd between 5 and 7 in the NEC office. Even if you did not put anything on your spending form because you did not spend any money, you need to hand that in the NEC office. That will result in disqualification if you don't. So what should be on your spending form? Anything related to your campaign must be accounted for on your spending form, with the exception of materials used to affix posters to other entities, such as tape, glue, staples, and string. Even if you already own some of these things, you need to account for them on your spending form. And if you don't know how much it costs, you can look in the candidate packet, which has some of the market values for that. If you're still confused, you can contact me, and we'll figure it out together. If you have Facebook ads, please keep your receipts from that as well, because if you don't, we're going to have to charge you for the highest daily rate, which may not be what you actually paid for it. So in other words, keep all of your receipts. Make sure that you have them when you hand them in. We do check your spending forms. We do compare them to the receipts. So yes, have all of that. And then what if you access free printing on campus? You still need to account for it. It is the rule. You need to do it. If you spend nothing on your campaign, again, we still need the form. And then you can get a deal on some materials. So maybe like your dad's cousin's uncle owns a business that could get you a really good deal on t-shirts. If that's not freely accessible to everybody else running in the campaign, you can pay the deal price, but you have to record the actual price that everyone else would have to pay. What if you're running with somebody else? Again, you each only get $50. And so in this case, each of these candidates, both Taylor and Kanye, had to account for these posters on their spending forms. So make sure that you understand that even if you're running on a ticket. So what's hot and what's not with this is semi-hot and semi-not. They did do it correctly in terms of the number of posters on each side of the bridge. 1 for Kanye, 1 for Taylor, 1 for their team. But it shouldn't be on the nameplate. This is not okay, because Taylor has 2 posters on each side of the bridge. Not okay. So violations of the FPC. Anyone can file a charge if they believe the FPC was violated. All charges must be based on specific rules found in the FPC, which is why it's A, convenient for you to know it so that you don't break it, and B, convenient for you to know it so that you can see if other people are not following the rules. All charges must be turned in on Friday, March 22nd between 5 and 7. That's a really hard deadline. There's no excuse for not handing in your charges then. And then you'll be notified by email by 9 p.m. If that's going on. You're responsible for preparing your own defense. We will hold a hearing on March 24th if someone does have a violation or a charge pressed against them. Your grievance officer is Justin Moore, and just so you know, he's never lost a case. So I don't know if you want to mess with that. And then your public advisor is Morgan Finkelstein, who just spent a semester with the president, so she must know something, right? Again, results won't be announced until all posters are taken down. And if there's no FPC violation, then you'll get to find out on that Friday if there is March 24th. Voting. Polls open at penn.gov.com from 12:01 a.m. on Monday, March 18th until 5 p.m. on March 22nd. I'm clearly repeating myself a lot because these are really important dates that you need to know. If you're a joint or dual degree student, we've probably talked a little bit already during this cycle. Please see me after this and we'll discuss voting a little bit more. And make sure your classmates vote. There are lots of votes out there. Go find them, make sure that they're involved in the process. You can do a write-in candidacy, and if you're interested in doing that, please come down and see me because there's a form that we're going to have you sign, a document basically accepting the write-in votes and candidacy. The way it works is once you've received enough votes to equal the number of signatures you would have needed to get on the ballot, you will then be added to the ballot and you can start collecting votes like everyone else. So you might want to sign that form preemptively and then we can just apply it once that actually happens, if that actually happens. And again, you're bound retroactively by the FPC, so something that you do today, even if you're a write-in candidate, you can have a charge pressed against you for a violation. This is the position breakdown. As you can see, some elections are more hotly contested than others. I'll give you a minute to absorb that.
I can't read it.
If you notice that, you know that there's more than one person running here, guys, if you notice that you're probably not counted in this, if you're the VP Finance for 2014 and you're not up there, please come see me because there's clearly been an issue. But otherwise, this is the position breakdown, and good luck. So officially declaring your candidacy. You all have your official declaration of candidacy forms. If not, I have some somewhere. There's a pile. Come down and we'll give you them. By signing it, you agree that you've read the FPC, which I know you all have. If you haven't, you're going to do it right after this meeting. Shh, guys, please be quiet. It must be handed in to NEC members. I'll tell you where they're going to be at the end of the presentation. Please make sure that your name is spelled correctly when you do that. I'm now going to go over the pictures that are going to show up in the DP spread. Yeah, I know, painful, right? So make sure that your name is spelled correctly. Make sure that your face matches your name and your position. Chloe's going to do it. I don't know how to get out of this.
Just stop me if your name is spelled wrong or if it's not you in the picture.
Question.
Yeah.
Can you make it Christian? That's what I put on my form.
Yeah.
I'll just write down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I should check that. Yeah.
Are y'all what's your email?
Your statement.
No photos.
So if you saw that your name is spelled incorrectly or that your face does not match your name, that's an issue. Guys, please be quiet. So basically, now that you've seen those again, if you saw that there was something wrong with your picture, please come down, let me know, and we'll fix it. Before you leave, official acknowledgement of candidacy will be turned in at the right front. Candidate statements approved and initialed, please initial them, and they should be revised in the back row there. Picture name checked, again, come down and tell me. And if I said I need to speak to you, so those three candidates, come talk to me. And if you have any questions that you want answered right now, come talk to me. Hold on, wait one more second. I have a few more things to say, and I'm going to give you all an opportunity to ask questions in front of one another. As you saw, there are some positions that have gone unfilled. So for example, VP Finance of Class Board 2014. If there's someone that wants to drop down to that position because it is currently unfilled, we're going to allow that.
I volunteer.
Great. So,
Josh.
yeah, sorry. That means, like, let's say you were running for CB 2014 president, and there were two people doing that, not just Spencer Penn. It was me and Spencer Penn. And I decided that I wanted to run then for VP Finance. I will permit you to do that because you got enough signatures for president, so you can drop down to VP Finance, first of all. Second of all, it's because it's uncontested. And so, because no one else already has like the go-ahead of the public to fill that position, we'll allow you to run for it, if you understand what I'm getting at.
If you don't understand, stay after.
Right.
Does that question?
Spencer Penn.
Does that mean you have to have? Does that mean you have to have more than or enough signatures to fill that position?
Correct.
So which positions on class board would fill that slot, for example?
At all the VPs, right, and then president.
Okay. So not class chairs.
Correct. Not class chairs.
Even if you have enough signatures, that's it.
If you have enough signatures, we can talk. Great. Okay, are there other questions that you want answered right now that you feel like other people would benefit from? Shh, guys, we're almost done.
What do they do with
Right, so you'll hand those in, the candidate statements, again, in the back. Make sure that everything's spelled correctly, initial them. And if that's everything, then you guys are... Oh wait, one more question. Shh.
If you did take a photo on Friday, is there any way to get one now or no?
No, I'm sorry.
There's been some like
Guys, seriously.
there's been some unclarity in the past with like Facebook pages posting on those types of like sites. What is the rule for that? Like, can we post on like different classes on different like supervisor, or like are you not allowed to, or can someone of that class like post on that page?
Okay, so with Facebook groups, essentially if it's a class, or if it's an official school or class Facebook page, stay away from it. You can write on the walls of Facebook groups. What you cannot do is send out messages from them. You cannot like physically contact other students from them. But you are permitted to write on the walls.
Assuming that anyone could write on the wall.
Assuming that anyone can write on the wall. For official ones. For unofficial ones, it's a free-for-all, Hunger Games, all that jazz. Other questions? I saw that hand, yeah.
I have an announcement. So in addition to the debate, UA Vice President and Presidential debate on the 17th, there's another one on the 20th at 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. in McClellan. There's going to be a chocolate fountain. Come listen to people share their ideas.
Hold on, there's another question.
Will we be getting emails to remind us about all of these deadlines you had to type?
Yeah, as you guys noticed, and if you're not currently getting emails, that's a problem, also come let me know. But you'll be getting a lot of emails from me over the next 2 weeks. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be best friends. Yeah.
Also, if people were insured last semester, are you allowed to flyer under doors in the quad and hill and stuff?
You are allowed to flyer under doors in the quad and hill and stuff if you ask the house dean and you follow all of their rules. It really comes down to them. But we do consider that sort of thing freely accessible because anyone can get into the dorms with a pen card.
When you say freely accessible, there are some buildings that close at a certain time and are locked only to students who are able to go into that building. For example, Adams. That's only open to people who are in fine arts. It's freely accessible during the day. Can you put anything in there or not?
Yes. Yeah, I would say, I'll explain to you. I would say that, yeah, it's freely accessible 99% of the time. That's fine. Shh, guys, we're almost done. Other questions? Anything else? No? Okay, so again, follow these spatial directions and good luck.